You obviously were able to get this result while having a lot of your first choice players missing. What does it do say about your depth, I think, to get this result?
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed having AB, Ethan, Dylan Teves, Danny Leyva, Obed Vargas, Jackson, who else did we have? I mean, that was pretty satisfying. I thought Leo Chu came on and provided a lot of stuff. Kellen was good again at left back, really good. Jackson was solid. Freddie Montero was very good. Will, when he came on, was very good. I mean, it did show a lot of depth, to answer your direct question directly. And I was obviously very pleased with the result. I think what you have to also understand, though, is the leadership that, Stefan Fry gives you. I know the one call was offsides, but he makes saves. He keeps us in games. Nico's leadership as captain, I can't say enough how much, that inspired play helps everybody on the team. He's next to Obed Vargas, and he's talking to Obed the whole game and making sure Obed's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And then, then when you have the quality like we have with Raul, I mean, it's turns into a fun evening.
Nuestro amigo de Miraflores, por favor.
Yeah. Thank you. Diego from Peru. Congratulations por el triunfo.
Lo siento para Perú.
Muchas gracias. Thank you so much. Dos preguntas respecto a Ruiz Díaz. La primera, antes de su cambio, estuvo a punto de anotar su tercer gol, con lo cual hubiera sido su hat-trick. Me pareció, tengo la impresión de que cuando salió del campo estuvo un poco fastidiado por el cambio quizás, la primera pregunta. Y la segunda, si Ruiz Díaz le comentó algo respecto a la eliminación de Perú y si esos dos goles de hoy son como un mensaje al entrenador peruano por su no convocatoria.
Did you get that, Gus?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So first, congratulations for the game today, and two questions about specifically Raul Ruiz Diaz. So the first question was that right after he scored, right before scoring the hat trick, Raul looked like something happened and he was not comfortable. Do you know what was going on with him?
Okay.
And then the second question is, do you believe that, did Raul made any comment to you about the Peruvian game yesterday? And do you believe that him scoring 2 goals today sends a message to the Peruvian coach about the mistake of not calling him out?
I think Raul is hungry for goals all the time. I don't think that he has a special message for the coach. I think Raul is always looking to try and score. So that's your second question. And as far as the first question is concerned, he's being assessed. There was some tightness in his hamstring. And similar to Yaimar, similar to other players, we took him out as a precaution because the season, we still have a lot of games to play this year.
Raúl siempre está hambriento por goles. No importa el partido o las circunstancias, siempre está hambriento por goles. Y no creo que haya habido ningún mensaje en particular para nadie. El partido que sea va a querer hacer goles. Con respecto al cambio, en este momento está siendo evaluado. Él sintió un jalón en el posterior y igual que Yeimar, lo sacamos para protegerlo porque la temporada es larga y todavía hay muchos partidos por delante que hay que tomarlo en cuenta.
Thank you.
Okay, Maz next, please.
Hey, Brian, I know you talked about the leadership on the squad. I'm just wondering if you could talk to how difficult it is in this league to be able to not only score 4 goals, but to get a shutout, from start to finish by all players that got on the pitch.
Having a shutout, the second of the year, I believe, second shutout of the year, I think was good because I think you asked me the other day at training about the defending. So thanks for that question the other day. Maybe you created some good juju. It's always the players, and I talked about Andy working with the defensive unit. There's another interesting stat that Alex and his team found out. I think it was Kevin that found this out, that when both Nico and Raul score, our record is 14-0-0. So when those two guys are cooking, we're cooking. So that's a good stat. I was very pleased with our response coming out of halftime, because sometimes, coming out of halftime, 2-0, dangerous lead, but we get that third goal and that kind of puts the game away. So being able to do that, keeping a clean sheet, a lot of positives around tonight for sure.
Over here.
Paulo from Brazil. Coach, last time I asked you about Leo Chu, you mentioned that he has something to improve on his game. You already mentioned today that he brought something today. I'd like you to expand on that. And I also like to ask if he can play for Tacoma Defiance like the other players like Danny and Dylan are playing for the Tacoma Defiance.
Well, he can if we decide that's the best for him and his development. He, of course, can. But tonight, what I liked about Leo is he was very good offensively. You saw his talent. But again, he understands that the Seattle Sounders, you have to play in attack and you have to play in defense. And I think he's understanding that more and more. I think his teammates are trusting him more. They find him in the right spots. I would say that my good friend Preki had a very good training session the other day when we were playing 8 attackers versus 7 defenders, and it was very good, and he was able to get Leo to be understanding of what we expect. And so that was very good for me. And then, expanding on that, having Freddie out there as leadership for Leo is very important. And so as a young player, it's always good to have a senior player that can speak Portuguese, and that was good for me tonight as well.
Reminder for those on Zoom, if you have a question, please hit that raise hand function button so Kelly can call on you. We'll go up to Zoom in a second, but before we do, we'll head back to Ari Lillenwall.
Yeah, Coach, Jordan Morris scored a huge goal for the U.S. national team tonight, stoppage time equalizer at El Salvador. Just wondering your thoughts on that moment for him this close to the World Cup, and as a follow-up to that, have you noticed in the past when you have international guys have a moment like that, is that something that can give them a boost when they come back to MLS play?
Yeah, sure. I'd prefer to talk about this game. Yes, we saw the result. I haven't looked at it. Tommy was looking at it on his phone. It's good for Jordan to score. Goal scorers like to have that little, bit of momentum. But, he'll be fine when he comes back. He's been a great player for us. And, sometimes the heartache, the success, national team, club, it does all fit together with the players. But I think they're all smart enough to understand that there are certain differences between the two entities. So Jordan knows he's from Seattle, Mercer Island. It's a great storyline for us. He works hard for us all the time. He works hard for the national team. And tonight, again, I'll watch some of the highlights. Good for him. I thought it was a header. He doesn't score many header goals except for the header goal he scored for us first. And maybe that gave him the confidence to score a header goal for the United States. You can write that up.
Okay, Kelly, we'll go to you on Zoom, and for anybody down here that has follow-ups, we'll close with those. Kelly, go ahead.
Great. We will start with Felipe Michaela.
Thank you, Kelly. Coach Brian, thank you for the opportunity. My question to you is, what can you tell us about Alex Roldan's performance tonight? He's a player that always do good crosses, but today he got a goal.
Yeah, I'm glad he wasn't playing against the U.S. I'm glad he was here, Felipe. Alex, Scoring goals is sometimes a reward for all of the players because, you know, Raul, the goal scorers, they always get the headlines and all that. Alex has worked very hard in his career to become a starter, become an all-star. You know, the occasional goal or assist that he gets certainly is good. But again, I would compliment Alex more on his contributions to the team in general. His attitude at training, you know, his ability to, you know, sacrifice things for his team when he needs to. And then, you know, look, he's gotten better in his defending. We saw that at Seattle University, that he could score goals. He was more of an attacking player there. And, you know, we knew he had that in him.
That is currently all we have from Zoom, Alex.
Okay, Kelly, thanks so much. We've got a couple follow-ups in here. Jeremiah, go ahead.
Yeah, you had Nico, you mentioned this earlier, but you had Nico playing back a line next to Obed. Did that feel like a big risk to sort of have a relatively inexperienced player with a player who hasn't played that position a ton, or did you, like, what was your expectation and how did it fit your expectation?
So it's a good question. There were lots of conversations about how we would set up the team because of the absences and JP's injury. And, you know, certainly Albert has done a good job kind of moving back a line and sitting in there. We all know that Nico likes to touch the ball. He always likes to, you know, get as many touches on the ball as he can during games. And so that fit his personality. It also is good for me because when Nico plays a little bit deeper, sometimes our play from back to front is a little bit better because Nico's not afraid to get the ball in tight spots. He's able to turn out. He's able to connect passes to the next line. And so when we put Freddie up a line or in Nico's number 10 position and Nico back a line, I thought that worked very well. Nico and Obed were able to get Freddie in the pocket, Jimmy in the pocket, Raul, and we were able to play from back to front. I'd also be remiss to say that Freddie Juarez, who does a lot of good things for this club, actually hit it out of the park with the tactics. So when Nico was back there, we played our back four a little more narrow and shallow because they had wing backs, and then that opened up space for Chu, Madranda, Freddie, Raul, and Jimmy, and so those tactics worked very well tonight, and I think that helped Nico.